All right, another day, another disastrous end to a season for an NFL team that had nothing but Super Bowl aspirations. The Philadelphia Eagles bowing out in embarrassing fashion last night to the 9-win Tampa Bay Buccaneers, losing 32-9. Just a complete and utter disaster for this team. And it now begs the question, there are massive question marks with this team heading into the offseason. We did a video last season talking about it, and it looked like they addressed all those concerns, but after a 10-1 start, they fell off the face of the earth, going 1-6 down the stretch, including last night's playoff loss. And it's not just that they struggled down the stretch and they lost. This team absolutely and utterly quit on head coach Nick Sirianni. And the question is, who do we put the blame on for this? Because I know Philly fans, they aren't the most rational bunch in the world. They want blood, and I think they're justified. This is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. I know historically there's a Super Bowl hangover for the losers, but they seem to get over it. But what happened? Your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, gets paid $255 million, and he totally regresses. His passing is abysmal. His turnovers through the roof, really kills him. Nick Sirianni, you lose your two coordinators and you can't do anything right. What are you doing? What does Nick Sirianni do as a head coach? I just don't understand. I do not think this would be a drastic move. Again, like the Cowboys, I know Nick Sirianni's been good. He's had more success. But when you have that cocky, utter nonsense attitude that the Philly fans love, by the way, don't say you guys didn't love it. Don't say you thought he was corny, but he just won games. No, you guys embrace it. It oozed Philadelphia. It oozed the city. And you loved him. But now that it's turned on you and he's not good and he's not winning games, you all hate it. So let's stop that there. But yeah, what does he do? He was play calling in his first season. He was awful. They bring in the Shane Steichen to take over the play calling. He's the savior. They have an unbelievable season last year. They lose Shane Steichen, who does a great job in Indianapolis with Gardner Minshew. And they can't get anything right on offense. This is the most disjointed offense I've ever seen. They have an elite offensive line. They don't run the football anymore. They can't pick up blitz protections. They're running a high school offense. Jalen Hurts can't throw the football. I don't know what's going on. All this team had was the friggin' tush push, and even that ultimately ended up failing on them. I can't imagine how bad of a head coach, how in over your head you have to be to have this totally fall off the rails. I know it was ugly and they weren't winning convincingly and we all kind of had question marks possibly, but we said, hey, they're winning games. They're going to eventually turn it on. Not only did they not turn it on, they fell off the face of the earth. And now you have lots of guys going into free agency. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, staples of this organization. Jason Kelce announces his retirement to the team last night. So you just lost the best center of a generation, your Hall of Fame guy who's still playing at an all-pro level. What's Lane Johnson, your right tackle, going to do? You could totally see a talent and roster dump for a team that felt like was really well constructed, had a lot of talent. Their secondary was garbage, and some of the blame has to go on Howie Roseman. Everyone loves Howie Roseman. He's an elite GM. Everyone thinks he did a great job in the draft year in, year out, but he spent some money, invested in those older corners, and guys like Bradbury completely quit. A total embarrassment last night. But I think Nick Sirianni's got to go. He doesn't do anything. He's not a good coach. It's clear he's not a good coach. One great season with elite coordinators. Two other seasons, okay, he won 9 games. He won 11 games this year, but down the stretch, that was maybe the worst team in football, Philadelphia, at least a bottom 5 team. He doesn't take over play calling because I think he's a coward. The offense isn't working. Nothing is working. You have a diva wide receiver in A.J. Brown who's probably going to ask for a trade this offseason if they don't drastically change something. And you're just going to let it happen. We're going to talk about fixing things. We're going to keep changing. We're going to do stuff. No, bozo. Take over the plays. Take a stand. Be a man. If you're going to go down on your own sword, man, on your own terms. I'm going to take over the offense. I'm going to try and fix this. You had 5 weeks to try and fix this, or at least 3 weeks when you knew things were falling apart to take over and fix this. And he utterly bowed out, didn't want to do it. I don't know what to do with Jalen Hurts. I still think Jalen Hurts has potential as a good quarterback, but man, I would be very worried with the amount of money I've spent and the investment I've had with how bad he looked at throwing the football. He could not throw the football. He was clearly injured this year. It's going to come out. He had a knee injury because his running and movement was not as good. But if you can't throw the football while you're nicked up in this league, you're not long for this league, my guy. They're going to figure out how to take things away from you. You have to be able to rely on your arm at a certain point to play quarterback in this league. When you're beat up, guys get beat up. You play a physical play style. Jalen Hurts runs, all those tush pushes may have taken his toll on them. But this was a disaster finish for this team. I think they need to chop all these heads off. And I think we all know the answer to this. I think you have to go Bill Belichick. I think they have the one up with Bill Belichick. If Belichick wants that job, I think he's going to take it. He's one of the best secondary guys in history of football with coaching guys up. He can fix that stuff. Howie Roseman, I still think, is a very competent GM, but he really made his he really got his stripes with those awesome draft day trades, trading with people, kind of killing people in the long term with these trades. He's obviously not perfect. We know Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson is one that's going to really haunt him for his career, but he really made it in, and now nobody's going to trade with him. Nobody wants to trade with him. Everyone's afraid of getting killed on the trade, so people just don't even want to work with Howie anymore. So that really puts the onus on him on evaluating talent, being able to get guys without having to move up, having to move back, this, that, and the other. He's really going to have to figure out a way to earn his stripes there. So I think Belichick is the right fit for this team. He fits this culture. He fits this city, kind of a hard-nosed, blue-collar guy, working-class guy. I'm sure the Eagle fans are going to love Belichick. If you can win over Boston fans, you can win over Philly fans. It's the exact same kind of thing. And this team does have the we can win now, especially if Jalen Hurts and the offense gets fixed. But he'd have to hire a guy to get it fixed, and that's where Bill has kind of struggled in recent years. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to get this things out. But we talked about a critical offseason for the Eagles last year. It looked like it was going great, and now it's just an abject disaster, a dumpster fire in Philly. So Cowboy fans, you can feel a little bit better that the Eagles struggled. Eagle fans, take some solace that the Cowboys also are a disaster, but really challenging times ahead in the NFC East. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think the Eagles should fire Sirianni? Should they try and bring in Bill Belichick? Maybe somebody else. Let me know what you guys think. What about Jalen Hurts? Are you high on Jalen Hurts? Do you think they should really try and move on from Hurts? Are you still a believer in him? Let me know. If you haven't already, like this video, click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, click that join button. Join the channel memberships. You get early access to videos, access to exclusive videos, badges, emojis, things to use for the live streams throughout the season. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.